everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone has had a wonderful holiday season. I am going to do a flip through of my December daily. I'm going to split it up into two parts. So this will be days 1 through 14, and then I'll do 15 through the rest in a separate video. I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep up with daily pages filming wise, because I was able to work on this and piece them together so sporadically throughout the course of the days that it was just going to be too complicated to film each day. But I will say I gathered a lot of inspiration from Precisely Taziana, Mary Jo, I forgot her last name, but she's from Paper and Spool, and Allie Edwards. So I watch theirs frequently throughout the course of the week, and so I drew a lot of inspiration from them. So if you remember from my prep video, I decided to fabric cover that Craft Studio Calico album that I had purchased for like $1.99 from Michael's. So I used this red and white fabric that I got as a quarter swatch from Walmart, and I adhered it all throughout the album with matte medium. And then I put in gold glitter paper in the inside cover. I would have done the inside cover differently, only because if you're familiar with cardstock that's glitter, it's very thick. And I was trying to score it in order to kind of get into the binding, but no matter how I tried, it had to have like this gape or gap in there. And I feel like if I used thinner cardstock, maybe that wasn't glitter, it would have turned out a lot smoother. You know, I don't love this little gap and the little texture that it gives, but it is what it is for this album. I haven't decided on a charm yet, but hopefully by the end of the December daily, I will have something on the spine to indicate the year, because it's very simple right now. Just a red and white candy cane stripe. Okay, as we get inside, let's see what's better. I'll probably move it a little bit. Okay, so the cut file is from this design studio from Silhouette. I think Paige Evans has one like this, but her letters intersect a little bit, you know, a few places where this one, they don't really go into each other, which I sort of appreciated a little bit more. I backed the letters, if you can see, it's white glitter paper. So you can see the texture, and I did do the cut file in gold glitter paper, and then the 2009 are from Thickers from my stash, and then I embellished it a little bit with some of the items I had hauled in my previous video. And then the back paper is from the cardstock collection that I also told you I'd use, was Mrs. Claus from Michael's. Okay. Oh, and I did pop dot it up too, or not pop, fun foam behind it. Okay. So this page, let me zoom in a little bit, was inspired by, her name is Crystal Dante, I want to say, on Instagram. I was following her as well, and she did a little bit of a hexagon. Hexagons were a big thing for Allie Edwards this year, so I used a hexagon shape cutout pattern paper here, also adhered some of those sequences that you also saw me haul. This peppermint stick, peppermint red glitter pack is what's on it. And this is how I kind of took a picture of my tree this year. My tree, where it has to be, is just a cluttered picture with my, like, you know, entertainment center behind it, and then it's the patio doors which go outside to our grill and everything else. So there's no like clear picture I could ever take of my tree. So what I did instead was take pictures of like my favorite ornaments that adorn the branches, and then I did like my little topper in the hexagon, and that's how this page came together. I really do like it. I like all the embellishments and the stickers from Ellie Studios. This is the one from Ellie Studios Document December kit, and so are these acetate pieces. These acetate pieces you will see throughout my album. I really did love this addition to that kit. And then my journaling was inspired by Taziana as well. I did letters to person, places, or things. And so here I wrote Dear Christmas Tree, and I wrote about how my Christmas tree this year reminds me of myself, because I mommy proofed it, or kid proofed it. So all of the breakable items, ornaments were up top so that Valentina can't pull on them, and all of the plastic ones were along the bottom in case she got curious. And it's similar as I treat myself. Like, I don't wear fancy jewelry or clothes that could potentially get stained, because Valentina is just a toddler right now, and so we're both baby proofed right now. Day 2, a lot of these pieces are all from the Ellie Studio collection, the Document December. The Holly Jolly I foiled from that sticker collection that I hauled. Which one was it? It was this one. I foiled it from this one, which is called Cozy, that I found at Tuesday Morning. And it's all about Valentina's love for coloring books. So my journaling is just a pull tab in here, and I wrote my letter to coloring books. And how she just literally, I think actually this morning, her first thought sentence out of her mouth was, "Mommy, I want to color," which I just loved. So if she can sort of get bit by the crafty bug, I would totally love that. So these are just a couple of her coloring books. We're into Crayolas and the mess-free markers, and she's in love with stickers. So anytime I get sticker pads from Michael's or the dollar store, she enjoys. Day 3, we went to go see the Christmas sand tree up in West Palm Beach. If you don't know, I reside in South Florida, where it's 80 degrees year round. So the Christmas tree is a sand castle on the beach. I took her that afternoon, and then this is all Ellie Studio journaling card, die cuts, and the 3 I used my Silhouette Cameo. And then I did a flip up for my journaling, again, inspired by Taziana, and this one was Dear Sand Tree of the West Palm Beach. And then it's a really fun tree if you can see some of the details on it. I mean, it's just like snowflakes and branches, and they took it super cute, and it has like a sunscreen bottle on there and, you know, different Florida things. I also remember used the Holly Jolly collection from My Mind's Eye, so that's a lot of the other paper pads that I thought worked well with the Ellie Studio. 4 these stickers are from a very old Studio Calico collection that I had, and it's very old because it's literally just the alphabet. There's no duplicates of any of the letters, and I just happened to have never used it, and so I spelled out the word 4. There's some pom-pom trim at the end, and I did a flip up here. This is a day that I was gonna save for Christmas, but I couldn't. But I got Valentina this whole new little kitchenette for downstairs. We have a townhome, so she loved it. I brought it inside the house, and so she played with it for a good chunk of time uninterrupted. And so my journaling up top is just Dear This Mom Life moment, because if you can see the picture, she's in a phase of just eating pancakes. Zoe is always by her side hoping something falls. Her new kitchen. There's Frozen 1 on the TV next to my Christmas tree. I mean, this was a moment. And literally, I think that whole week she ate nothing but pancakes. Don't worry, I added a whole egg and whole milk to the mixture. So hopefully she got some protein from it. So I love that interactive element. I do this a lot in my pages, so you'll see that a repeated theme. Day 5, I made a pocket. So it's the back side of this paper was these hollies, and I put some vellum in front of it. And then I made tags with pictures with my mom and Valentina. The acetate snowflake is from an old Heidi swap, and then just some ribbon, and I did cut that out with my silhouette. I did it about 3 times on regular cardstock and glued them together. So it was just a fun moment captured, and so I doubled the pictures on both sides. Who Needs Santa? I Have Grandma. These were from a set that I added later on. It was the Bella Boulevard, what is it, Santa Squad, I think it was called. These little bits and pieces I added into my collection. Then this one was just gorgeous of her just staring at twinkly lights. She rarely got to understanding trees and lights and Santa. She could recognize everywhere now. This twinkle was from the, it was that Merry Days thicker set that I had. This one called Joyous. You saw me haul this from Tuesday Morning as well. And then it was a picture of me and her in front of this tree. This was over in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, where my mom lives. And so then my journaling is right behind this tag. This is just gold striped paper. This was from also the Bella Boulevard collection. And so these 3 tags sit in this cozy little pocket, and I love the way this came out as well. Day 6, this was inspired by Paper and Spool, Amy. From there, she made little pockets, and I did get that envelope punch board from Rare Memory Keepers. So these papers are all from that Dear Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus? Yeah, this one. This is all that as well. And inside are 6 things that I'm loving right now. So I got matching jammies for me and Valentina. So they're little cards. It's an interactive page. I'm always going to have to direct people to open it. All things Frozen 2. We went to see that this holiday season. And then it's like Miguel and Valentina in there. That was from our photo shoot for our holiday cards. So a lot of little things. Day 7. This is a cut file that Paige Evans gave out on the Happy Scrappy Facebook group. It was for free if you're part of that group. She does offer occasional free cut files, which I do appreciate. I backed them with gold, green, and red glitter paper. And then this number 7 was an old thicker pack that I had in my collection that I still had numbers from. You'll see it a few times too. They're just chunky gold glitter, red glitter, so I love them. So day 7, I took, thank God, not thank God, thankful for Facebook Marketplace events. That's how I got through Halloween and Christmas as well. Our neighborhood is really good about posting their free events for the community. And so I found this lovely one up in Northlake. This is an acetate piece from the LA studio. I matted it, and then I did a little half flip out. There was a Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus there. This is LA Studio. And so it's to dear Facebook marketed events, because I go to them all the time, especially if they're kid friendly. Valentina was able to do some crafts there. She made like this little styrofoam or foamy gingerbread man, and we ate like a whole basket of French fries. They're her jam right now. This is LA Studios, and this is from the Holly Jolly collection. Day 8, this was also inspired by Taziana. She did a gorgeous wreath on one of her pages. I didn't get the same cut file, but I did kind of use her as inspiration. So I cut the cut file out twice, once on glitter paper on green, and then a wood grain that was also like a minty green, and then still created the wreath on metallic gold paper, which had happened to be in my stash. And then the 8 I cut out on the studio. I made it the perfect size to be in there, and I cut it 3 times to give it some dimension as well. Day 8 is the story of Valentina discovering at the park. This whole layout too was inspired by Taziana. She did it on one of her days, I think, where she finished her school or something. It was like the last day of school. So I cut a word called named Discover on there. I did some ombre with pink and green oxide inks, and my favorite picture of her at the park. My journaling is under this flip up. So Dear Playgrounds right now. And then it's a flip out as well. That I cut a normal 12 by 12 Project Life thing. I cut off like the top part, which is what I used here. So this is the top part from this 12 by 12, which is all horizontal 4 by 6s. That's how that page got utilized. So these are in black and white, and how she's just discovering the world and how she sees it and how she climbs and touches sand, and there's a splash pad there and the swing. I mean, she's just in a really fun age. If you have toddlers, she's 2, you understand what I mean. And so I love this spread. There's a lot going on. Day 9, I talk about going to meet Santa, which was an utter bust again this year. Last year was meltdown. This year, she was just very, very uncomfortable. And so I did her play-by-play reaction under here on this flip up. So again, this is to Dear Santa. And she just wasn't sure. She kept on looking at him and looking at Daddy and looking at him and looking at Daddy, and never truly crying, but never smiling for a picture either. It was just complete like, I don't know you, dude. And you're holding me moment. There was a little play area with like confectionery snow, which she dug completely. You can see her happy face right here. These are all LA Studio Project Life cards, and the Ho 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 is also from the LA Studio collection that I purchased this year, which I did make a good dent in. I was very happy with myself in that. The pattern paper right here is from the Holly Jolly collection, and I did some writing on it that kind of got cut off when I printed it just in an app on my phone. Day 10 is a full photo spread, and actually this is something new I did. I have never done a full photo spread. I've done it now for this one and this one also, and I think I did it. I'm going to do it one more time. I printed them just on 8x10s to Walgreens. They're like $2.99 there with coupon. And then I just kind of cut off an inch on every side, and it works perfectly. If I know there are other people that probably can print a 6x8. I don't have that ability. I just have an Epson PictureMate. So when I did these, it was definitely to like Walgreens real quick. And this was just a fun picture in front of a big Christmas tree that I took her to. I believe this day my sitter wasn't able to watch her, so it was an unexpected day with her. And I just made it. It has 10 things Valentina says right now that make us laugh. She's definitely like learning her vocabulary, so the stuff she says is just adorable with a little bit of a lisp and a little bit of a mispronunciation. You know, like when she says thank you, it's just like tink you. You know, and you know, for doggy, it always just sounds like she's saying googie, you know, the googie all the time. And I'm sorry is like, it's like sorry. It's just cute. And so these are just little antics. I mean, believe me, there's more than 10 that she says at this point, but these were just a little bit that I wanted to include. So it's just a fun little page. I even had Miguel help me figure this out to narrow down like kind of like top 10 cute things she says. And that's my little munchkin. Day 11, I talked about our office decor. So at our chiropractic / PT clinic, we have I brought literally all of my decorations that I use at home, and I just threw them up at the office, because literally at this point in time I spend most of my time, believe it or not, at my office at our clinic, which is a good thing. So my house just has my tree in it. Like there is nothing else. So some of the office, like our front desk, I just have adorned it with garland and all the stockings and trees. We recently painted our office, and we have our logo on the wall and a piece of acrylic, and then this huge wreath. I have some menorah and Hanukkah things, and then Miguel's like fantasy football statue. So that's the story there. Day 12, my sister flew into town once again, and I actually let her take Valentina alone to see my parents in Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, which for me is about 3.5 hours, but I trust her. She did good. And so it's the story of dear Liana, my sister, how I trust you with my child, because other than my in-laws and my sitter, no one else watches Valentina. And so there's my mom and her again. They did a lot of Christmas activities when they were over there, which was super fun. And this is her with her friends. Day 13, the story of our, well, at least mine, probably many people's favorite holiday tradition, which is matching Christmas pajamas. This was one that I not blew it to 4x6 of me and my sister together, and then I did the flip out, and that's me and Valentina, and then all of us together. This is an acetate piece again from the Ellie Edwards, and so we also had ridiculous huge headbands on. You even see Zoe. You know, that's a great photo. So they're all from Old Navy if you're curious. And so my letter is to Dear Christmas Pajamas. Like, I just love that tradition so much, and I hope to do it every year with Valentina as well. And so that's the quick story there. And then on day 14, literally Candytopia is in Miami, and it was the day before Liana had to leave. So we went to Candytopia. So that's the reason for the lollipop, and the 14 is from the LA Studios. Acetate I hauled, I think this one's just from Michael's. It's just like a confetti dot. Love it. So this one is a flip out again. So we talked about how fun it was. Literally Candytopia is, if it ever comes to your major city, just an amazing place to take a bunch of cool photos. Like per room you go to, they have like 4 corners set up for photo ops, and everything is just obviously candy inspired, and you can get on things and jump in things, and there's like a marshmallow pit. It was so fun. And so I was able to do a flip out again, and even to choose the 12 photos that would be in these pockets was hard, because we had like 200 photos to choose from, because obviously you take like 5 at each station to get the best one, because you're dealing with a toddler who doesn't really smile on command. But this one was really cute with the 100%. We're able to get on it. These large lollipops in the back. I got me and my sister's feet, and this was like glowing on the wall. This is a funny moment. They had these huge balls with the sky background onto the floor. And truly, the funny moment is because right after, if my sister took video, you would have seen me flying through the air to jump on this, because I thought it was going to catch me and then like cradle me back down to the floor. No, this ball just moved to the side, and from that air, I face planted to the floor. I mean, landed on my knee and everything kaput. Junsky. Just some of her. This was like a whole like shark made out of like gummy bears. Here's the marshmallow pit with me and Valentina. She just loves stacking them. This, what is it? Seahorse is made of jelly beans. They had like this moving Candytopia with confetti. It was just super fun, guys. So yeah, Candytopia on the 14th. Totally Christmassy, right? All right, and then 15, my sister had to leave out of town, so her flight, and what we do all the time before she goes is do some Snapchat filters, and we love them. We do Snapchat all the time. These just happen to be holiday ones, and so I talk about how another favorite tradition, just me and her in general, we love getting on Snapchat and putting on all these filters. So super cute little moment. Me and my sister are like besties. I just want her to move from Jersey to down here. And so my journaling is to like, dear Snapchat, we love your filters. All right, so that is the first half of my December daily. I will be back with the rest of them once it's completed. I hope you've enjoyed and gotten some inspiration from this, and I will leave some close-ups at the end. Till my next one, bye everyone.